He stepped out like he owned the entire city. Because he did. Everything about him screamed power. The suit, the car, the cold stare. People moved when he walked. They didn't speak. They bowed. He wasn't just rich. He was untouchable. But power breeds secrets, and his ran deeper than anyone knew. Tonight, he was heading somewhere he never should have gone. Down on a street where no one knew his name, or so he thought. Because in the shadows, someone was watching. She waited for the power to come back. Again. The light in her building hadn't worked for 3 days. She had one meal left, no job, and a mother coughing inside. But she never complained. She just endured. The city forgot girls like her. So she stopped expecting anything. Until a black SUV rolled past, headlights slicing through the dark. She didn't know the man inside, but he looked straight at her. And that one glance, it changed everything. He came back the next night, just stood there, silent. She asked him what he wanted. He said, to help. Yuleya. No one had ever offered her anything without asking for more. But something about him felt different. Or maybe she wanted it to. He handed her a wrapped envelope, said nothing, just left. Inside, cash. More than she'd seen in her life. Her hands shook. Her breath caught. This couldn't be real. But it was. And it was only the beginning. She had never tasted food like this, or felt eyes like his. He spoke softly, but there was steel behind every word. He asked about her life, her dreams, her fears. It felt like a test, one she couldn't afford to fail. She lied about her past, just enough to survive this world. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. She didn't know if he was kind or dangerous, but she knew she couldn't walk away now. His world was marble floors, silent hallways, and locked rooms. She wandered too far once and found that door. It didn't belong in a place this beautiful. When she asked about it, he froze. "Don't ever go near there," he said, without turning around. His tone was flat, final, like a threat dressed as a favor. She nodded, but something inside her stirred. Some doors don't stay locked forever. She came back, dressed like someone else. Her neighbors watched from behind curtains, silent, judging. No one asked where the money came from. They just stared. She dropped off food and medicine for her mother, but even her mother looked at her like a stranger. She said it was all okay, just a job. But the lie burned in her throat like acid, because deep down she wasn't sure what she was anymore. Her hands trembled as the key slid into the lock. The door creaked open, slow, like it didn't want to be disturbed. The air was heavy, thick with something unspoken. She stepped inside, and the world shifted. Documents, photos, receipts, all marked in red. And on the floor, a stained cloth no one should ever see. She covered her mouth, trying not to scream. She knew now, whatever he was hiding, it was deadly. He didn't shout. He didn't move. He just stood there, watching her. The silence was worse than yelling. "You weren't supposed to see that," he finally said. She asked what it meant, who the man in the photo was. He took a step closer. She stepped back. "You still want my help?" he asked, voice razor thin. She realized this wasn't help. It never was. She didn't sleep. Couldn't. All night, she sat on the rooftop, trying to decide. In her lap was everything. Names, numbers, photos. Proof of things people had died to hide. She could run, or she could speak. But either choice would cost her everything. The city below started to wake up, unaware of what she held. And she still hadn't made her choice. She tried to report what she found, but the officer barely looked up. He said the man she was naming donated to the station. Her words fell like broken glass, sharp, ignored, scattered. You have no proof, he said, smiling like he already knew. She left the building with her hands shaking. The system wasn't broken. It was bought. And now, she was alone in the fire. They came for her that night. Silent, efficient, cold. 2 men in suits, one message: drop it or disappear. She asked who sent them. They didn't answer, but she didn't need names. She already knew. One man touched her wrist too hard. She pulled away. You're not untouchable, he whispered. Then they left, as quickly as they came. She realized this wasn't fear. It was war. Her mother begged her to stop asking questions. Whatever you found, forget it, she cried. But the woman couldn't unsee what she saw. Her voice cracked. If I stay silent, who will speak? The room felt too small, too loud, too full of fear. Her mother wept, hands trembling on her face. Don't let them take you too, she whispered. But silence had already cost too much. She didn't trust anyone, but she had to try. The journalist arrived late, nervous, looking over his shoulder. She slid the flash drive toward him. Everything's on there. He scanned the files, eyes widening with every click. If this is real, he'll come after both of us, he whispered. She nodded. She was already marked. He promised to publish, to make it public. But some stories never get to print. The next day, the cafe was sealed with yellow tape. She froze. The same car, the same seat, but no sign of him. An officer muttered something about a robbery gone wrong, but her blood ran cold. It wasn't random. It was a message. She called his number, straight to voicemail. The drive was gone. And now, so was he. She wasn't next. She was already late. He stood where no one could hear him. The city below sparkled like it belonged to him. She is still alive? He asked, softly into the phone. A pause, then a smile, small, cruel, certain. Handle it, quietly. And he didn't need rage. He had control. Every piece was where it should be, except her. And that had to change. She ran until her lungs burned. Behind her, footsteps, a car engine, silence too loud to ignore. She didn't know where to go anymore. Everyone was gone. The city that once ignored her now swallowed her whole. A shadow moved. A door slammed. Tires screeched. She ducked into an alley, heart pounding like war drums. Her phone was gone. Her name meant nothing. And still, she refused to stop running. She found sanctuary in the only place left untouched, the church. Kneeling in the dark, she pulled out a small recorder. Her voice trembled. If this is the last thing I say. She named names, spoke truth, left nothing out. She didn't care if the world listened. She just needed it said. Outside, thunder cracked like a warning. She placed the recorder under the pew, kissed the cross around her neck, and stood up to face whatever came next. They said it was an accident, electrical fault, nothing suspicious. But the building burned fast, too fast. No names were released, no bodies confirmed, just smoke, ash, and silence. But weeks later, a recording surfaced. A woman's voice, broken, brave dive, unforgettable. She never got justice, but she told the truth. And now, the whole world was listening.